Roll up your sleeves. You asked for a harder card trick, I'm gonna give you a harder card trick that you'll hopefully use to blow people's pants off. And don't do this for kids because you can get in trouble for that kind of stuff. So here we go. First thing, of course, we need to do is take the cards right out of the tuck case, and then we need the help of two special cards, which happen to be the two red aces. And along with help with the aces, we're also gonna need help from the tuck case, right? Tuck case, very important. So we have the ace of hearts, ace of diamonds. I'm gonna take them, put them right inside the box like this, close it all up, and leave it in full view the entire time, even in your possession. You could also take the deck. So at this point, you're just taking everything I have. And you can go ahead and give this a shuffle to your heart's content until you're satisfied, right? Maybe even one final cut. Now we need a card selected. Let's just say this card here. It happens to be the 8 of clubs. It doesn't really matter if I see it. I guess if you care, that's fine. I'll take the 8, put it somewhere in the center like this, put this whole pack in the center here, push it all the way in, give it a magic riffle. And I'm gonna take this whole deck, drop it on the tuck case, and it's gonna transport from the deck into the tuck case. Right, you probably didn't hear it happen, but watch, it did. Because if I take the cards right out, just like this, right, clean hands, as fair as possible, ace kind of got stuck there. There was one card, right, that was between these two red aces. And actually, I'm gonna put the aces here and take the box back because this box is gonna come in handy. You'll see exactly how in a second. The card that you had between the aces was the 8 of clubs, your selection, which I think is pretty cool, but we can take it a step further. I'm gonna take one ace, put it below the 8, take the other ace, put it on top of the 8. So now we have the 8 encapsulated or sandwiched between the two red aces. But this is where it gets good, because if I take this 8, right, if I give it a rub on the tuck case, it's gonna really get a sense of how this tuck case works. So if I take it out now, and I leave it somewhere in the center of the deck, just like this, right, as fair as possible, take the aces and put them back inside the box, just like that, close it all up, and watch, here's where it gets good. Again, we'll take it, magic riffle first, now we'll take it, put it here, that's gonna go from here right to there. You probably heard it happen this time, and watch. Again, very clean hands, cards are definitely in there, pull it right out, one card between the aces. And you know what? I did it last time. I'll let you do it this time. Take the card right out and you'll see it was the 8 of clubs. Let me show you how it's done. What up, crew? It is Magic Monday, and this is your place to learn magic, master your opponents, and captivate audiences. The effect I'm sharing with you today, I guess, is known as double teleportation. And the reason I'm hesitant is because this is a card trick that I actually did way back in the day with Card Perfect Magician as a collab on our channels. And just look at me, man. I look like a chump. What's that hair? I don't even know. Also, a plug for myself. The Canasupus Alpha Lex playing cards are coming out soon. If you haven't already, head over to my community page and let me know if you could help me make this vision a reality. I need to know what to expect for this Kickstarter because there's so much that I want to do, and I have to base that off of the funds that we collect. But anyway, before we dive right into the tutorial, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and get ready to fool all your friends. Now grab your favorite deck, and let's do it. I'm just counting down the days till this bad boy goes live on Kickstarter and I can get this deck in your hands. I'm in love with it. The Kickstarter date right now is looking like early February, so get ready, get hyped, because I know I am. I guess I should be. Now for what you're really here for, the tutorial. So, I guess a bit more background. I'd probably rank this at a low-level to mid-level intermediate effect because it does have a couple of tricks involved. You could simplify it to make it a bit easier for yourself, but I'll leave that up to you. So to start, you want to grab two cards that are somewhat similar. I like using the two red aces. So I go ahead and I grab the two red aces. I thought I had them since I just did this trick, but we'll use the two black aces this time around. Yeah, I'm not racist. So you take the aces out in front of the spectator and really show them in their direction. As you're doing this, you want to get a pinky break underneath the top card of the deck. Now you can do this in multiple ways. I'd recommend doing a pinky count and just popping up one card like this. For me, it's a lot easier to do that as my hand is resting back here. I'm showing this off and I can just do a pinky count and one card suddenly gets popped up here. So you can do it however you'd like. In my performance, what I did was I put these aces down and I was reaching over like this. And as I'm reaching over, I'm actually hiding this deck from the audience. So if that's the case, if you're reaching over to grab your tuck box, you could even push over with these fingers, get a break underneath your pinky like this and pull back. And there you have your break established. So however you want to do this, if you're more of a beginner, I'd recommend pushing over and pulling back. But if you want to do the pinky count, that's a great move to learn. I'll put the link on the screen. You can go ahead and definitely check it out. But the whole point is you want to get a break underneath the top card with your pinky, right? And like I said, we want to grab this as well. And I show the spectator, so I have two black aces. I return them back to the top of the deck. And as I return them back to the top of the deck, this move is actually done so much with any kind of sandwich routines. You're going to take these cards like this, right? You put these aces on top, and take this whole packet of 3, right? So everything above the break, you take the whole packet of 3. You're gonna slide off using your thumb, right? The thumb that's holding the deck. Using the thumb that's holding the deck, you're gonna slide off this top card, this top ace, like that. Now this is actually 2 cards. This is the ace and this is the top card of the deck. It doesn't really matter what this card is, but so now we have 2 aces like this. And then I put the ace that I just peeled off on the bottom, right? So up to speed, what happened was, right? We grabbed these aces, showed them to the spectator. We got our pinky break like this, pulled it back, lifted up this whole packet of 3. And then as I'm doing this, I say there should be some reasoning behind why you do certain moves in Magic. I say here I have the ace of spades and the ace of clubs. Originally, I just say I have the black aces and then I read them out. So this gives me a reason for separation. And now keep in mind, this card is behind this ace and I put this behind, square everything up. And I say I'm gonna take these 2 black aces and put them right inside of this tuck case. And I close that up and leave it on the table, make sure they can see it. To add even more effect, I even give it a shake saying, look, you can hear the cards in there, and drop that down. Now you need a card selected. So you can go ahead, shuffle the deck. I'd recommend handing it off to your spectators so they can give the deck a shuffle, because if the Magic is done in their hands, it's gonna feel so much better, right? So the deck has been shuffled up, and now you need a card selected. In my thing, what I did was I did a card control where you can pretty much like take any card. For example, let's say the selection was Queen of Clubs. I can take it, and this move is so much fun to do. I can take it, I can slide it down like this, and as I'm flipping it over, I switch it out for another card. So now, this card I take, right, I put this here, and I take this and put this here. This is just another random card, which I love this move. I don't exactly know what it's called. I learned it on YouTube. But I'll put the link on the screen. I have a video that I made on it. But such a cool card control, because now they think that's the selected card. You push it in, but the selected card is still on top. Now, if you're not comfortable doing that, let's say you have a card, once the spectator finishes shuffling up the deck, you can take the deck back and just do a double lift, right? With your double lift, of course, you can do it any way you want. If you don't know how to do that, link on the screen. But the easiest way that I found, or the best way that I found to do it, is I do a pinky count, 2 cards, take those 2 cards, lift them over like this, and I show there's your selection, Jack of Clubs, right? And then I can take it, turn it over, pretend to lose it somewhere in the center of the deck. And I can push that in. Let's just say that the selection is a Jack of Clubs at this point, push that in. So they think the Jack of Clubs is somewhere in the center of the deck, where in fact it's still on top. Now we're gonna take this whole thing, I like to slam it down on the deck, but just for magical effect, I give it like a front riffle, just makes it feel more magical. You know, if you're doing magic, make it feel magical. Front riffle, and then I like to throw it down on here, and I ask the audience, did you hear the moment where the card jumped from the deck into the tuck case? And I tell them, you probably missed it this time around. So I've removed the cards out like this, then slowly I have clean hands like this, take the cards out like here, so, and just slide all this out, right? Just slide it out, I don't take it out with my hands, just to show how clean I am, right? I'm the cleanest guy around, cleanest guy in town. And then I have these 3 cards. Now, ultimately, one of the things you don't want to do in Magic is just put things on top of the deck for the sake of putting them on top of the deck. So what you can do is give a reasoning behind it, right? So you can say, so these were the 2 aces, and check this out. So I throw it on top, and I say, there's 1 card sandwiched between them, but we're actually also going to need the 2 aces. So then I remove these 2 aces, and again, I'm using this as misdirection as I'm loading up to do a double lift here. As I'm putting this down, and I say we're going to use this again, I'm misdirecting to the aces, make sure it's on camera, misdirecting to the aces, and as I'm doing that, again, pinky count to get a double lift, and then I show, because again, this top card that was between the aces is a random card, and I do a double lift now to show, look at that, it was your card, the Jack of Clubs, that was between those 2 aces. And at this point, they're impressed. That's teleportation number 1, but this is double teleportation. So you take the aces again, turn them face down, take one of the aces, put it below this double, and then take another ace and put it on top of this double. Make sure they line up on the bottom. Right? You want to be very careful here, and this is going to take a bit of practice. You want to make sure the cards here don't misalign, right? And they don't misalign in any way, otherwise it's a dead giveaway of what's actually happening. So you take this, right? You grab this whole thing and you turn this over. Now the top card here is the random card, and this is the card you're going to show that you're losing in the center of the deck. Now, how do you do that? The way you do that is you have this face down. I come over with my other hand, and as I'm talking, I push this Jack down. So I guess from an exposed view, my middle finger and thumb work together to push this card down just like this. You want to make sure that the cards are aligned. So I have my thumb and index finger here as I'm pushing this down to make sure, like, you know, you can see that should not be happening. You should not see that. You want to make sure the alignment is, I guess, as good as possible, and as you're pulling this down. After a certain point, you no longer need this hand, and you can just use your index finger to push the jack or whatever the selection is the rest of the way down like that, and then you show that card is still there. Now, what I'd like to do is I can either rub the tuck box and show there's a connection being established between their selected card and the tuck box, or I can rub the deck. I can do something like this, do something that has some level of meaning. And then you can take this card out and lose it somewhere in the package, saying I'm losing your card somewhere in the middle of the deck. And once again, we'll take the 2 black aces and lose it somewhere in the center. Push that all the way in and say, look, cards are right in there, put that down. And this time I really want you to listen. If I give this a riffle again, just like we did last time, throw this on top. Of course, the card is already between them. Throw this on top. And as I throw it on top, I throw it and I hit the sides of the tuck box and say, this time you probably heard it happen. Now you remove this, take this right out. Again, do exactly what you did last time. As clean as can be, you're the Mr. Clean. Take this out and say, you know what, this time, let's switch it up. I want to be as fair as possible. I'm just gonna separate the cards like this. And I want you to take a look at what this card is. And of course, with the final reveal, it's your selected card. Boom. If you're thirsty for learning, Marty, stop scratching here. Look at, you're on camera. You're on camera. Well, congrats. Thanks for being here. Great guest. Like I was saying, so if you're quenched, no. Marty, please stop. You're distracting me. If your thirst for learning hasn't been quenched, check out this hard card trick right over here to really get those hands moving. As always, a huge shout out to all my Patreon producers, and thank you. Love you. See you soon.